Awesome Artist. Today we're doing another comic book haul with lots of new books. But first off, I need to dedicate this video to Denny O'Neil. Now, I know this is Neil Adams' book here, but many of the stories featured in this book were written by Denny O'Neil, or Dennis O'Neil. And basically, Denny O'Neil was someone who helped grow serious writing in comic books. He really came to the scene and he made Batman a serious detective again after years of silliness with giant typewriters and stuff like that. You know, all the outlandish stuff from the 60s that was being shown through the Adam West show and stuff. But so he made Batman a detective again. He brought more drama to the character, as well as tackled topics of like race and drug abuse in the Green Arrow, Green Lantern series. He helped to write the Brave and the Bold for Batman. Most notably, I believe, is his creation or co-creation of Ra's al Ghul. So, if you're not familiar with his work, I highly recommend it. He is one of the best Batman story writers out there. My first contact with him, I believe, basically the animated series episodes with Ra's al Ghul, the initial appearance of him was inspired and possibly written by him as well. So that was my initial brush with the character. And yeah, I can't recommend him enough. So check him out and rest in peace, Denny O'Neil. So first off, we have the Catwoman 100-page giant 80th anniversary. And this is the Gabriel Dell'Otto variant for the 90s. That was the main period for me of buying books and stuff like that. So I like the purple Catwoman suit. So there's definitely different eras and stuff, and they have covers for all those eras, but that's who, I think of that purple costume a lot when I think of Catwoman. So this shows all the talent here on this book. I'll just do a little bit of sampling here with a few of the pages of each story, not to spoil for you. So here's a little pin up there. Back to the roots of the character there, first appearance. Here's another pin up. Here's a more recent story here. Oh, this looks like the Batman Returns Catwoman. Here's the 50s Catwoman. Animated series. That's by Ty Templeton there. Here's the Mikhail Yanin. And this has some crazy stuff happens here that I don't know if we want to continue, consider it continuity or not. Here's another. Here's the 60s. showing off the pinup art. Here's a Steve Rude Catwoman, the modern one here. Here's the 70s. J. Scott Campbell did a lot of really cool covers for this. I believe they're just sold exclusively through his website if you want to check those out. I think he did like the regular 60s cover, but then, he did one for every decade for his own use to sell. There's two pinups here. 80s. This one's a modern one here, but this is 80s. I believe that's Frank Miller. Either that or it's done in his style. I don't know which decade this particular story takes place in. I guess this is 80s because this is the year one outfit. Or she's like a stripper or a prostitute, or I forget exactly. There's the 90s here, so we have Batman animated in, the classic Catwoman in the 90s there. And then another purple suit of her there. With her form-fitting suit. This is a Callie Jones and Chuck Dixon story here. Certainly made quite an influence on Batman in the 90s, those two. Oh, Clayface there. I love Clayface, as you guys know, so it's cool to see Callie Jones draw him. I believe this is the Darwin Cook rendition of Catwoman here, the 2000s. And then this is her at a convention, I guess. I don't know. And there's the 2010s. What is it? Joelle Jones. And here's a J. Lee drawing of her in the modern era here. Here's another modern or 2000 story here. Art by Cameron Stewart. I would say after the Robin 80th anniversary, they have really mastered making these anthology books going decade by decade is perfect. And I think it's the best way to encapsulate all the time periods. So next we have The Amazing Spider-Man number 43 from my other shop. And I haven't read this yet actually, but this was one of the books whenever all the shops opened back up. I guess what was it? Has it been 3 weeks now? And this is a continuation of the Boomerang and Spider-Man story here where they're confronting this creature here called Gog, who is like a guardian of this tablet. There's like shards of this tablet they're trying to get here. And, you know, it was pretty much like his task to guard that with his life. And so Spider-Man is trying to get it from him. To keep it out of the wrong hands, Kingpin is trying to get all of them gathered, you know, for his own selfish gain, to do unspeakable acts of evil, of course. But the next issue starts the stuff with Kindred again. This is what I'm really excited about. They've really been teasing the storyline for a while now, so I can't wait. And then they have this as a teaser in the back too, something breaking out of this prison here. It's very reminiscent of the whole Doomsday is Coming, how they teased him. Alright, next we have the Joker 80th Anniversary. Once again, I got the 90s cover by Gabriel Dell'Otto. Same thing, I'm assuming here. Here's your talent page here. I could read off some of these, I guess. So we have talent. We've got writer Scott Snyder with Jock. We have James Tynion with Mikhail Yanin. We have Gary Whitta and Greg Miller with Dan Mora on art. Looks like they have a Denny O'Neil story in here too, with Jose Luis Garcia Lopez on pencils. The War Within by Peter J. Tomasi with Simone Bianchi. Paul Dini with Riley Rossimo. Tom Taylor with Eduardo Rizzo. Eduardo Medeiros and Rafael Albuquerque. And then he's doing the art as well. Tony S. Daniel with Tomo Mori. And Brian Azzarello with Lee Bermejo. So a lot of good talent there too. So this, once again, they're doing Joker's most iconic covers here. Oh, so it's getting them out of the way to begin with. In this one, it looks like instead of spreading them out. You know, I love this book here. I believe Denny O'Neil wrote that one too. Yeah, he sure did. So this starts with the Jock art here. And you can see this very disturbing twisted face. We have more iconic covers here. The Joker fish and then the Killing Joke. So this might be the origin of Punchline. I know that's supposed to be in this book. That might be this particular story. Yeah, because it's called What Comes at the End of a Joke. That might be her there, maybe, but I don't know. She seems like she's more freckled and stuff when I've seen her. Yeah, no, that's definitely her. But I will not spoil the reveal here. So this does say to be continued and Joker War Batman 95. Death in the Family when he beat Jason Todd with a crowbar to death. The ending the readers voted on. I think this is just a pin up here. Kelly Jones. I don't recognize that cover. So this here looks like a greatest hits, almost with an homage to Killing Joke from this image here. And this is a story by Denny O'Neil. Here's some beautiful, I don't even know, his name is so hard to pronounce here. I just want to say Stefan, but I know that's not it. He apparently announced he is backing away from the professional comic book companies, so we'll never see him do another professional thing. He said he's gonna go off and have some fun and create his own stuff, his own properties. This art is very unique here, by the way. Wow. Oh yeah, this is Simone Bianchi. I'm used to seeing his stuff in black and white or with a heavier ink, so this is nice. Here's another cover here by, well, this isn't a cover, but Ivan Reis holding a bat with a Joker smile. Very menacing. So this is the story by Paul Dini here. The art in this one is done by the guy who did the Batman Who Laughs origin story for Dark Knight's Metal. Here's Tim Sale's original Joker art there with his large teeth. This is the Eduardo Rizzo art, which I haven't read 100 Bullets, but I know it's considered one of the classic must-read series, so I really do like his art. So I'm definitely want to check it out. I know it's more mature too, so. I like the work he did for the Paul Dini biography graphic novel. And we have the Jim Lee beating here. And this is the Raphael Albuquerque. More painted look than he typically does inside, so that's cool. Yeah, I'm really enjoying these big specials like this. Here's the Jock cover here. I think this book goes for about $100 from what I hear, just because this cover is so iconic now. Here's a John Romita Jr. pinup. Looks like he's got some Smilex in his gun there. Here we go. This is the Tony S. Daniel story. Though I would definitely say, based upon art alone, pick these up, but I feel like there's so much more to that, to these. I really love the Robin one, and I have a feeling I'll have the same feeling about these ones. The Fiona Staples cover here. I wonder if this is an indication that she will do some more DC work. I've only seen her work on Saga and Archie, so this is the Lee Bermejo, and this is a different style that I'm used to seeing for him. I'm used to the painted covers and stuff, not the heavy ink. And then you get a nice Joker card image on the back here. As we can look at the Deceased Unkillables number 3. Yeah, whenever I went to my shop like 2 weeks ago, I had like 3 books. So they actually gave me this cover. These are the variants I'm trying to collect, and then they gave me like the movie cover variant, which is a send up of the Suicide Squad poster here. But I really only wanted this one, but since I only had 3 bucks, I didn't mind. So yeah, I can't recommend all these Deceased books enough. They're just so off the wall and brutal. This is worth the price of admission right here. Solomon Grundy tearing off Bane's head. And then he throws it at someone else's face. But, you know, since they're all zombie, like, corpse, whatever you want to call them, they can do that. But I thought the next one was out for the next miniseries. I forget what it's called now, but it's another 3 or 4-parter. I'm sure it'll come to me whenever I'm not ready to talk about it. Okay, next we have Nightwing number 71. And I'm not really sure the state of things right now. I know that he's no longer considering being a talent or anything, but he's still on the ropes pertaining to who he was. So, but I know he's going to be coming back into the fold soon as Nightwing for the Joker War. And this book does tie into it, even though it's not officially marked or anything. They teased him in the last book. And I don't know who this character is here either. scissors gonna slide off the side of the table here. Next we have Batman number 92. This is the one people have been waiting for too. You get a first, it's not, I guess it's like her first full more than a couple images appearance of Punchline in this one. So people are clamoring for it. A lot of people trying to speculate on it. There's her, since she's Joker's new girlfriend, So Riddler is definitely on the loop here in now. His costume almost reminds me of the Batman Forever look a little bit, but he's got a question mark grid on him with the squares. So he's like a more malnourished Jim Carrey here almost. When you see like this here with the shaved head, the orange hair and everything. I'm definitely getting those vibes from it. I'm gonna confirm how much OKYC Punchline. So she's not in it too much, but I'll give you a partial of her. There you go. And that's they're in kind of the middle of a big moment there, so that's why I didn't show the full image. So I got that one, and then I got the Punchline variant as well, which I wasn't sure if I would, but my shop, I try to get variants whenever possible. But since this is a spec book, I always get worried with stuff like that. But 9 times out of 10, I can guarantee they have it in there. So let me know down below if you all were able to get a copy of this, or you're all hunting for one. I hope you all got one. Next we'll jump over here. Turtles Urban Legends number 23. It's so close to wrapping. At this point, I'm just ready for it to be done, It's fun just to kind of see a different take on the Turtles with it just being so bizarre and violent and brutal and weird. But I definitely enjoy like the Eastman stuff and the IDW and the Laird stuff, all that, immensely more than this. But this is just kind of fun to see, a story that's just really bizarre. And this may have been originally the issue that it ended with here back in the 90s. It says never the end because there's still more. I think there's maybe 4 more books or something. Action Comics number 1022. This is another Barrio cover here. So we see more interaction here with Superboy and Superman. And I believe from what I've read from articles online, or just seen headlines, they are aware of like a reboot within the continuity and stuff. I think Superboy is, or one of the two of them is. I think that's Superboy. So this just kind of deals with that, and this is gonna like tie stuff together. I'm assuming with the Legion of Superheroes and Young Justice. And apparently Bendis is soon going to be wrapping his run on Superman. They didn't say which issue, but he did mention it. So I'll be interested to see who takes over for him. Honestly, he hasn't been on the book that long. I think at this point they might not they don't want to pay him maybe. But I know prior to all this he was having health issues, like before he signed on to do Superman. So it just could have been like a brief kind of bucket list sort of thing. Next we have Detective Comics number 1022. Nice Two-Face cover here. Apparently we do not get to see it without a glare of some sort. Very nice image though. So this is continuing on. Two-Face has like this weird religious cult. I'm trying to remember what it's called, but he has all these disciples and they've got like coins embedded in their heads. And there are moments where they're even brutal, like more brutal than Two-Face, which is hard to imagine. Because I think originally with all this, like he was about to let him go, and basically they all decided collectively to do this to Batman. I believe it's been a while. This has been, the first detective book back since the break happened about a month or so ago, or 2 months ago. I think it's always interesting how this artist tends to like kind of give a little nod to the design from Batman from the animated series with the eyes and the chin. See? There's also like some Joker backup story stuff in here too. Leading into the Joker War. So now I gotta check the other one too for this as well. And then there's a thing of all the mini looks of Catwoman, which we saw in that 80-year special. So let me check that Batman real quick. So the Batman one doesn't have a teaser, but they've got enough stuff going on in that series anyway. Alright, next. I got a book I crowdfunded a while back called Gunship Thunder Punch. This is by Brian Shearer, signed by him there. I'm not familiar with a lot of his past work. I believe he worked on Transformers and G.I. Joe for IDW, though. So this was a fun read. I definitely wish it was longer. It ends on a cliffhanger. But I do recommend it if you like, giant monsters and like robot space adventures. Then you'll like this. And of course like Transformers and, stuff like that. Trying to show off the image here. Yeah, this right here. So basically he was discarded as just like garbage. So here's his line. You left me to rust, he tells this guy here. So he's very much like, a living being. So he's dealing with that period where he was kind of just discarded and useless, and now he's needed and all that. And this guy doesn't really have respect for him. He sees him as just, an insta or means to an end rather than an actual being. So, and then it came with some fun little bonuses, a little bookmark here. And then it came with cards. There's 2 of them. And then there's stats and stuff on the back. And he does have a YouTube channel. I believe it's just Brian Shearer. I will post it down below with a link. And then he included a paper craft as well. But this one wasn't on rigid paper, like the Earthworm Jim paper craft. So I'm not sure that it'll construct the same way. But it did include this backing board too, so maybe I can glue this onto it and then cut it out. I don't know. Then we got Batman, The Adventures Continue, #1. So this is picking up in the animated series universe. And that's kind of a big deal because they want to throw a lot of elements, newer elements from the comics into the animated universe. So we get to see a lot of people who we enjoy, but in the animated style. And this is like the new adventure style, the Kids WB Batman. And we see our mystery character here that I'm sure you all can guess who that is. And I was surprised that the direction this book takes. They have like Lex Luthor in here and other things with other characters that were just really unexpected. Also too, this is the checklist for the Joker War. So you feel free to pause that and make a list there so you don't miss out on all the books collecting the event if you want to read the whole thing. Of course, the main story I'm sure will be good enough, but if you want like all the footnotes, there's that there. And this issue 75 of Harley Quinn is the last issue of Harley Quinn from what I hear, and Punchline's in that issue too. And we have Batman, Superman number 9. So who killed the Atomic Skull? I believe the last time I remember seeing the Atomic Skull in a DC book was the Superman, the Action Comics number 1000 story. And I don't know much about the character other than I think he's like radiates radiation. And he's just like a giant glowing skull on him. The suit here, this is him here, I believe. Oh, this looks like a more futuristic version. I've seen him, I think, where he's like in a spaceman suit almost. Look at that explosion there. So yeah, this guy can definitely do some damage. I don't think the stack will hold any more books. But we've got one more in here. And then I have other random items to show off. So this is the Batman Secret Files number 3. I believe there's a Punchline story in here as well. So this talks more about this group of assassins here that have been talked about in the previous Batman books. So this might be like a lead up to that, or just kind of a between the lines story, maybe. So it switches artists here. I'm trying my best not to spoil previous work there. So this is Victor Ibanez. And then this is another story here. And we get another story here. So yeah, these are just like a lot of little mini stories. I think the first one is probably like the major story out of them all, though. This last one's a James Tynion story, though, so that's probably pretty good. And fighting Deathstroke there. And then here we see Punchline. So there she is in this one. And then this also says continued in Joker War number 95. Here's the figures they have based upon the Batman adventures continue that are coming. I hope to be able to get quite a few of these. And then we have the mini faces of the Joker. Apparently there are some shops that have these as little masks. So check with your shop, see if they have them. I don't know that my secondary shop did or not. They typically carry stuff like this, so I should ask them. But this period there wasn't anything there for me to pick up. So part of the hiatus, I've been going back and collecting things I've always wanted to buy. So I got the complete set of the Hellboy Omnibus. There's 4 for the main story and then 2 for the short stories. I guess those all took place before these ones here from what I understand. So I've been reading this. I haven't read much of it yet. And then I've been catching up on my Cerebus too. I've been buying those. So, but I'll do different videos with those, but I just wanted to, just kind of show off, something else that I picked up here. And my Cerebus books are just out of reach, but you guys know those. Some side items here. For my middle child, he loves Spider-Man, so I picked up this cool Venom vs. Spidey pop moment here, recreating that iconic cover. And there is a bit of a metallic shine on them. I don't know if you can see it very well, but they do. There's a little metallic finish. So I got that. And this is the box. See, it shows the moment there. Classic cover. And then I got the Penguin from the Batman Returns. I want to try to collect all the movie villains. Just because that way I don't go down the rabbit hole of needing to buy hundreds of other heroes and villains, So I got him. And then I got Catwoman as well. And I actually bought 2 of these because my daughter, she likes Catwoman and Harley Quinn and those type of characters, so I actually bought this one 2 weeks ago, and then I bought her one today, so. And then, since those 2 kids got something, I picked up an All Might for my oldest kid. We've been starting to watch My Hero Academia. We're not very far in it, so no spoilers. I think we're about 7 episodes in. They just had the episode where All Might came in at the last moment to the rescue training facility where they all got blindsided by all the villains and stuff. He comes at like the last moment. So that's the episode we just watched, but I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying all the little unique intricacies of the story. All the stuff, with him passing down his powers to Deku and all that. It's really interesting. Although every time he speaks, I just hear, a more heroic Piccolo, but what can you do, right? Since it's the same voice actor. But, yeah, so this is a McFarlane toy one. He does have swappable hands, but those are in his room right now. There's some nice creaky noises for you. And they are stiff, so I recommend if you get these to, put him in a, extremely hot bucket of water to warm up the joints before you move him. And then he came with a little base plate too, so. And then, yeah, today the Funko HQ opened up for the first time since all the COVID stuff too, so that was a big deal. I found and picked up the Princess Buttercup pop for my wife to go with her Wesley Chase. So that was pretty cool, but I left that because that's not superhero related, but. And then finally, my wife got me a little Captain America shaker bottle here, which I'm trying to work on health stuff. I think a lot of us, with the quarantine and stuff, we've gotten out of shape and stuff, and yeah, so I've gained quite a bit of weight that I want to try to work off. So this is one of the blended bottles, so it's got the little metal ball in there and you put shakes in it and just kind of do all that, so. But this is a really nice bottle, but this is actually the replacement. The first one I got actually leaked everywhere when I was trying to shake it to make a drink in it, so I want to get some more of them. Hopefully they won't leak as well, but it's pretty nice. And this is the classy metal one, as you can hear and see. There's plastic ones and stuff, but this one was pricier, so this one was around $35. Alright, well that's gonna be it for me. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see. And as always, you have a super slumber. Thanks.